Hello. Welcome to the City of Oklahoma City Contractor Training for BidSync. My name is Amy Russell, and I am the IT project manager for this project. We have Katie Smith on the line, and she will be leading you through the training for today. Katie?
Thanks, Amy. So as Amy said, my name is Katie. I work here at BidSync. I'm the Customer Solutions Trainer. Today we'll be going through a more in-depth training of the BidSync system. We're going to show you how to register for an account, how to respond to a solicitation, as well as how to edit your profile that you create on BidSync, adding users, a few other things that a lot of you have been asking kind of questions about. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get started with the registration. Now, if you already have an account registered within BidSync, you don't need to re-register. As long as you go in and edit your profile, you are good to go. So what I'm going to do is I've got our homepage pulled up. It's just bidsync.com. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here to the basic area, and I'm going to go ahead and click on free registration. This will allow me to register for free with this city. It'll allow me to participate in our bids, do everything that I would need to on a bid without any cost to my company. So on this page, all you're going to do is go ahead and enter in your information into the fields requested. So here we can go ahead and put in our first name, our last name, the phone number that we can be reached at. And you can also put in an extension if you need to, if there's a certain number that you want to be reached at within your company. You'll also want to go ahead and select your job title, and whether you're the owner, CEO, anything like that. The next thing you'll have is your email address. This is the email address you want to receive notifications to. So you can go ahead and just type in your email address. You can edit this once you've actually created your profile, and you can go ahead and add in more as needed. And you would just need to create those email addresses with users attached to them. We'll then go ahead and set up a username. The username does need to be unique to your user, so you'll want to go ahead and just put in something that you would remember but would be unique to you. So I'm going to go ahead and just make up something here. And then we'll go ahead and create a password. Your password does need to be at least 8 characters long, containing at least 1 letter and 1 number. This will allow you to go ahead and log in with your own user. When you do set up your other users on the account, they'll all have their own login. But this is just setting up that first admin on the account. We'll then go ahead and put in your company name on back over to the right side. Your street address of where you're located. You'll also want to put in the city that you are located in. So we could say that we are located in Oklahoma City. We can then drop the state menu down to Oklahoma. I'm just going to scroll down here to the bottom and select Oklahoma. And then as well as our zip code. You'll also want to put in your organization's phone number. This is a phone number that anyone in your organization can be reached at. One thing to note with this phone number, when you call into a BidSync customer support rep, the first thing they're going to ask you for is the phone number that you registered your account under. So just kind of make a note in your mind what that phone number is so that you can quickly remember that and get your account pulled up easily. You'll then have your time zone. This should default to Central Time if your computer is set up for Central Time. If not, go ahead and just select the Central Time. We'll then have some business ID information. This is completely optional. You don't have to input your information here, but you can put in a DUNS, an FEIN, or an SSN number that your business is registered under. The city will not be pulling your information from this box. If they need that information, they can and will just attach a special registration form requesting that information. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to the bottom and just click Next Step. This will take us to the second page of the registration. There are 3 pages. They're really quickly, so we'll just cover this page. At the top, you're going to have your primary industry.
If we ever get a chance to go back over, I want to get my foot rest.
So here we'll have our company's primary industry. So we can go ahead and drop the menu down and select whatever industry you are in. You can select the other field if needed, and you can create your own industry. However, most of you are going to be under the construction, public works, and the trades. This does not affect your account in any way, so you can just pick the best one out there. The next thing we're going to have is the keywords. This will allow for you to go ahead and enter in at least 3 keywords that kind of describe your company. So here we could go ahead and say that our, construction. We could even say public works. We could say building construction. It's kind of whatever describes your business. You'll want to go ahead and enter in as many as you can think of. Once you've entered in at least those 3 keywords, you'll also have some suggested keywords. These are going to be based upon the keywords you entered above. What we've been doing is we've been tracking other vendors who register in our system. And anytime they use the word construction, here are some additional words they are using as well. So you can go ahead and just check any that you want to add. So maybe we do paving and electrical. We're also a contractor. We do some engineering. So you just kind of select whatever is appropriate for your business. These are not required to fill out, so you can skip them if you wish. We'll be using those keywords in a little bit more of a functionality on the next page. So now what we'll have is the where do you do business. Here you can go ahead and set up where you do business, whether that's the USA and Canada, USA, Oklahoma only, or the specific states and provinces. With the last option, you are able to go ahead and move that down to a county level if you want to go down a little bit farther than just a whole state. But I'm going to go ahead and just select Oklahoma only since that's where my company does business. Then we'll have the notifications. This will allow you to decide if you want to include the BidSync Links Plus bids. The BidSync Links Plus bids are a paid service BidSync offers to you. The city does not post their bids under this service. So if you are only wanting to receive bids from the city, you can go ahead and just uncheck that box and you will not receive those paid notifications. So the next thing we're going to do is hit Next Step. We'll then be taken to the classification categories. What it's doing here is it's taking those keywords that we entered on the previous page and it's doing a keyword search through some NIGP codes. What NIGP codes are is they are created by a company called the National Institute of Government Purchasing. They've gone out and taken every service and industry out there and they've made a classification system of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just select whatever applies to your company. So you're going to just start reading from the top and move down the bottom. So we can see we do building construction, educational, and the other classified, concrete engineering. You're just going to read through the whole list and select as many as you would like. I'm just going to select a few on the list, and you'll obviously want to go through it a little bit more. What it's doing here is with these codes, it's going to add them to your profile. And then when an agency goes in and creates a bid, they go through the same process of picking codes. And if your profile matches what a bid has on their profile, you have at least one code in common, you'll be notified of this bid. The city's public works jobs will work a little bit different than this, but I'll explain that at the end. We're going to go ahead and just get these set up. After you've moved all the way down to the bottom, you'll have a second list you can go through. It's C codes like companies like yours selected. So Besides just tracking those keywords, we're also tracking the codes that they're selecting. So based upon those 3 keywords, here's some additional keyword codes that you can use on our system. It will exclude them if they're already in the list at the top. So you'll want to go ahead and just read through both lists and get as many codes as you would like. How many ever codes you selected, it'll say down here at the bottom, classification code selected, and then it'll say 4 or 20 or 25, how many ever you selected. Anything that we've input in this registration so far, which we've actually come to the end, can be changed once your account has actually been confirmed and you go in. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and hit next step. This will now complete my registration. At this point, I can go ahead and log into my account and view bid information, edit my profile, add additional users, anything like that. However, you will be in a read-only status. You won't have access to actually place an offer on a bid or ask questions. So up until your account has been confirmed, you'll be in that read-only status. The way your account gets confirmed is 2 ways. The first is if you wait 24 hours and then you wait for an email to come to you letting you know your account's been confirmed. Or the second option is you can contact our BidSync customer support team, and we can go ahead and get that activated immediately for you so you can have immediate access. Our phone number is listed in this little blurb down here, as well as at the top of the screen you can see our contact information. So you can contact us at any time if you have any questions on anything we're covering in the webinar or just anything else in general. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor up for questions. One thing I think I forgot to mention is that all participants are muted during the webinar. If you have any questions, you'll need to use that questions area. You can go ahead and just type in a question, and then I'll try to answer them as we go through the training, but sometimes I'm not able to do that, so I'll just go ahead and answer those at the question and answers time. So one of the questions we did receive is if you have several estimators that need to be on the account to go in and look at the bid, with those you'll want to go ahead and just add them as a user to the account, or they can go in and register their own account. And then if you want your accounts all to be combined together to one large account, what you'll do is you'll just have that person and you call in, and then we can just merge your accounts. You'll still have your own profiles, and you'll have your own sets of emails and your own logins, but you'll be able to work on the same bids. So you can do it either way, having people register their own on their own and then having the accounts merged, or you can just add them as a user to the account. It doesn't look like we have had any more questions come in. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and move on to the next subject, which is actually participating in a solicitation. So what I'm going to do is just go back to our BidSync homepage by just going back to www.bidsync.com. Once there, I'm going to go ahead and hit My Account in the upper right-hand corner. Waiting for that to load for a few of you. It says that it hasn't quite loaded for everybody. I'm going to go ahead and now just click on My Account in the upper right-hand corner. And then going to go ahead and go down to the username area, and I'll go ahead and just type in my username as well as my password. And then I'll go ahead and hit Login. Once I do that, I'll be taken to the BidSync homepage. On this page, at the top, I will have a Search Bids area. This will allow me to go in and search for bids. On BidSync, we'll be using this to search for some bids in the city. Below that, you'll have a toolbar. Home will allow you just to come back to this home page. My account will take you to your account information. We'll be covering this in a little bit more detail later. You'll then have the agency list. This will allow you to see what agencies are contracted with BidSync and which ones you can access for free. You'll then have the support. This will allow you to go in and look at our support portal. We do have a portal with articles on everything that you can do on the system, as well as you can submit tickets, things like that. You'll then have some alerts. This will let you know if you've been emailed any alerts. So when an addendum is created or a question was answered, you receive an email letting you know that that's happened, as well as it's placed on your home page. So if we click on alerts, we can see there's 3 alerts here for different bids. And then if we click on the questions, we can actually see that a question was answered on a bid for the city. So we could go ahead and view that by clicking on the title. We'll then have a subscription area. This will let you know if you have any subscriptions on the account. You'll then have a manage area. The first one allows you to manage users. The second one is manage regions. Then you'll have manage notifications. Then you can manage classifications. And then the last one is support, to contact a BidSync customer rep. Anything that you can do in this box, you can also do under My Account, which we'll be covering in more detail. Then you'll have the No Active Cards on File. This will allow you to see if you have any credit cards on file with BidSync. We'll then have the links and the links plus bids area. The links bids are the free bids. This will be the area that the city's bids will appear under. And the links plus are the paid bids. But here we can see under the links bids we have addendums. So if your bid has had any addendums in it, it'll appear here. You'll then have changes. This will allow you to view any changes that have happened on the account. With the bid, sorry, not on the account. It works the same way as an addendum. It's just a wording change. You'll then have My Bids. This will allow you to view any bids that you've added to My Bids. You'll then have the About to End. This will be any bid ending within the next 24 hours. You'll then have the Invited Bid. This will be where all the city's bids show that you get invited to. So these will be the City of Oklahoma City and its trust bids. One thing I do want to point out with the city's bid that I did forget to mention on that registration page is if you are a pre-qualified bidder with the city, which a lot of you already are because you got invited to these trainings, you're going to receive a notice of every bid that comes through the Public Works Department. So you don't have to worry about making sure your profile is absolutely perfect because the city will automatically send you those notices. And then we'll have the bids with offers. If you've actually placed an offer on any bid, it will appear here so you can go in and look at the bid and maybe resubmit your offer if you've made a mistake or anything like that. With the Links Plus bids, this is a paid service. It doesn't go along with the city's bid, so we're going to go ahead and skip over that. If you need more information or have questions on it, you can go ahead and contact a BidSync customer support representative. So at the top here, we'll have the Search Bids area. This will allow you to search for bids within the BidSync system. At the top here, we can search by a bid number, the title, or a description. We can also go to the All Regions where we can drop this down and select a certain region. So we could come down here and we could go to Oklahoma and see all the bids within Oklahoma. We'll then have the current bids. This will allow you to drop this menu down and search for a past bid or a bid that's already closed. So the current process with the city is on the date that your bid closes, you usually show up to the city clerk's office at 10 a.m. and then all the projects are opened and you can see everybody's pricing, everything like that. What they'll be doing now in addition to that is they're also going to be posting that information online. So once that tabulation is made available, you can come in here to the system. You can drop that menu down to the 2013-2014 past bids, and then you can go ahead and pull up that tabulation and view it without ever having to leave your office. So we're going to go ahead and leave that on Oklahoma and current bids and hit go. We'll then be taken to the search results. On this page, we're going to go ahead and move to the orange bar with 2 tabs in it. The first one is the Links Plus bids. Again, this is a paid service, so we'll want to move over to the Links bids if we're wanting to see the free bids from the city. So on here, it looks like the city has 2 bids out. We're going to be using the second bid. On here, this bid is not viewable to anyone else besides me. I do have training access, so I can see it, and we're using it for that. But one thing I do want to point out to you is these little symbols. The first one is the sealed bid. It's the white envelope with the red dot. You can kind of highlight over that and see that it's a sealed bid, or you can actually click on it, and it'll pop up a little menu to let you know that it is a sealed bid. A sealed bid is where all offers placed on a bid are put into a lockbox. No one has access to your offer except for people within your company. That means the agency, the city, your competitors, or BidSync. We do not have access to your bid. That means you can go in and edit your bid as many times as you'd like, things like that. And then the last thing I do want to point out is this little construction symbol. It looks like a little guy flagging down. This will let you know that the bids are coming from the Public Works Department versus if it doesn't have that symbol, it's going to be from the Procurement Department. So what we're going to do is go ahead and click on the title of the bid. This will then allow us to go to the bid information page. Over here we'll have some bid alerts. This will allow us to kind of read through these and take action on anything we need to. Moving over to the right, we'll have the box with the bid information. At the top we'll have the bid number as well as the name of the bid. You're used to kind of seeing these titles, so nothing's really changed. It's still the same bid number and title that you're used to. You'll then have the agency that released it, so it's the City of Oklahoma City and its trust. Then you'll have the time left. This will give you 8 days if it's greater than 24 hours, and then if it's less than 24 hours, it will allow you to see the hour-by-minute countdown, and it will appear in red. You'll then have the bid started and the bid ends, as you can look at those dates. Over here under the city's logo, we will have an area on how to place an offer. This will allow you to see the steps for placing an offer. So I could go ahead and click on this if I forgot how to place an offer and use that. I can also go to the notifications area. Because of the way the city is inviting you to their bids, your notifications will automatically be turned on. So the only time you need to worry about this is if you are receiving notices for a project you're not interested in and you want to stop those, you can come in here and hit Stop Notifying Me. This is on a bid-by-bid basis. So if you have 5 or 6 projects you don't want to receive notices for, you will need to turn them off individually. Moving down here, we'll have the download bid packet. This will allow you to download a PDF version of the bid. You can see all the documents, everything like that that goes along with the bid. Everything we'll kind of see on the page is included in there. You'll then have an Add to My Bids. This will allow you to add that bid to your home page under My Bids. You'll then have an orange bar with 6 tabs in it. The first one is the details. This is going to give you basic details about the bid. You can see here who the bid contact was, under bid comments, you'll have the full title. The reason why you'll have a full title here is with the BidSync system on the title of the bid, we do limit the agencies to 80 characters, so the titles will be a little bit shorter than you're used to seeing. However, the whole title that you're used to seeing will be listed here, as well as on the cover page attached. You can also see the bid bond information, as well as the estimated amount. This will be the amount of money the city plans to spend on the project, so we can see here that it is $1 million project. The next thing we'll have is the documents. This will allow you to view all the documents that are currently attached to the project. So this will be the affidavits, the plans, the specs, the things you're used to seeing within that CD received from the city. So within BidSync, there will be, when you first come in, there will be 2 red messages next to each one. And it'll be either the first or the second one. The first one's going to be not viewed. In order to get that not viewed to go away and for it to stay viewed like it already does on my screen, you'll go ahead and just click on the title of the document, and then that'll go ahead and load up for you on your screen, either in a new window or in a new tab. Once you close out of that and come back to our system, it'll state viewed. So you want to do that with every not viewed document. The next you'll have is a pending acceptance. In order to get that to stay accepted, like I already have on my screen, you'll go ahead and click on the title. That'll then pop it up in either a new window or a new tab. And then this will be a supplier response form. This is going to be the affidavits that you're used to seeing, as well as any other forms the agency has provided to you. So you can go ahead and read through it. Down here at the bottom, you will have some boxes to fill in. So you can go ahead and say you certify this on the 26th day of September of 2013. So you're going to go ahead and just fill in whatever information you can on this. Down here at the bottom, you will see an area for the notary. With the city, you're going to need to have the notary added as a user on your account. I'll show you that process in a little bit. So what you're going to do in a real-life instance is you're going to go ahead and you're going to type in your information into any fields you can fill out. You'll then go ahead and skip over the notary area. You'll then come down here to the bottom. You're going to go ahead and type in your password and click on Save. By typing in your password, this will act as your electronic signature, which is just as legal and binding as an original wet signature. Once you close out of that form, it will change from pending acceptance to accepted. You'll then want to have your notary log into the user with the username and password you give them. They'll go ahead and change their password so that you won't know it. They'll then come in and they're going to fill out the notary statement. And then they'll go ahead and go to the bottom and type in their password and click Save. The agency will then be able to see that form as well as who filled out which part of the form. So when I close out of that, it'll change from pending acceptance to accepted like I already had on my screen. So moving over to the next tab is the line items. These are going to be all the line items that appear on your bid. Here it'll state the title of the line item. It'll give you a description of the line item, an item number, as well as if you have an offer on it. It'll also give you a place offer option. One thing with the public works bids, they will be grouped into different groupings, just like they were on that detailed bid form that you used to receive. So here we have our base bid items, and then we have an alternate number 1 and our alternate number 2. So we can go ahead and view all of those there if we need to. The next tab we'll have is the question and answers. This will be the question and answers on the project. So as long as you're within your deadline, you can go ahead and ask a question of your own if you need clarification or anything like that. You can also see what other contractors have asked as well, and you can also see if they've received an answer on that. With these questions and answers, anytime a question is answered, you do receive an email letting you know that that has been answered, and it'll include this exact screenshot we're looking at in the email, so you don't have to be constantly checking the system for those, for the answers and things like that, but you are able to kind of come in here and look what's happening on the bid. The next thing we'll have is the vendor ads. The vendor ads is a way you can come in and place an ad on BidSync. You can place an ad as a sub seeking a prime or a prime seeking a sub. It does cost $30 in order to place an ad on BidSync, but you can go ahead and hit place a vendor ad and place one on there. The next option we have is the plan holders list. Here you can go ahead and add yourself to either the subcontractor list or the prime contractor list. So you can go ahead and hit add my company to this plan holders list, and you can also subscribe to the list so you can receive a copy of the list anytime anyone adds themselves. This plan holders list is completely free to you. The agency has sponsored this for you, so there is no fee with this area. Moving down here, we're going to have our addendums area. This will let you know of any addendums that have happened on this bid. So we can see addendum number 1, there were 2 new documents added. And in addendum number 2, it looks like they changed the end date from, looks like Monday of last week to the next Monday. One thing I want to point out with these addendums is when you have documents, these are not hyperlinked. If we try to click on this, it just highlights it. If you want access to that document, you do need to scroll up and go to the Documents tab and access it from there. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and go down to the bottom and hit Place Offer. This will allow us to go in and place an offer on the bid within BidSync. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Place Offer. And then that's going to take me to the Place Offer page. What you'll see here is every line item will have its own box. It'll be a slightly different color, but it'll have the same layout. At the top of it, you'll have the grouping of the items. So this lets us know it's a base bid item for structural steel. We'll have a product code area where you can go ahead and type in any product codes you have. This is optional, so you can leave it blank if you don't have any of this. You'll also have a notes for buyer area if you need to give additional details or any notes for the agency. However, this is not a required field either, so most of you will not be using this field at all, and you'll just be leaving it blank since you don't actually give notes to the agency on anything. Moving over to the right, you'll have your unit price area. So on this line item, they're asking for 3,171 pounds. So we're going to go ahead and put in our price per pound. So we can see our price per pound is $2. Once I click off of that, it'll go ahead and automatically calculate over my total price. So I don't have to do any calculations on this page. You'll then have a save option. If you're coming in and you're kind of working on this bid as you go, you know, it's usually open for 2 weeks, so you start placing your offer on certain line items that you know your price and others that you don't. Once you've filled out as many as you're going to fill out for that day, go ahead and just click on Save next to one of them, and it'll go ahead and save your progress thus far. You'll also have an attachments link where you can go ahead and upload any attachments that you have for the bid. These would be your bid bond or any special registration forms the agency has attached. With those special registration forms, they will come across in just a PDF, so you'll go ahead and print those out and fill it out and scan it back in and upload it here. You can also, again, do that with your bid bond. You receive that from your bid bonding agent, and then you can go ahead and scan that in and attach it here. One thing you'll notice that is missing from the area where you're filling out that you're used to is the unit price text. You used to have to fill out the number as well as in words. The agency has decided against doing that anymore. So now all you have to do is fill out the unit price, and it'll do all your calculations for you, so that should save you some time. So moving on to the next item, we have another base bid item for reinforcing still epoxy coated. So we're going to go ahead and just put in our price per pound. So we're going to say this is 70 cents per pound. Actually going to bump that up to 75. You'll then have the attachments area again on this line item. With this attachment, you can go ahead and place them on any line item you want. They go along with the bid as a whole, not with each individual line item. So here we can go ahead and I'll put them on the second one, the first one, the last one, kind of wherever you want. We've just given you multiple opportunities to do that. So the next area we're going to have is our alternate. In here you can go ahead and put in your price for your alternate. However, I know a few of you do not place offers on certain alternates, so I'm going to show you how to do a no bid on it. The system requires every unit price field to be filled out. So what you're going to do is in here is go ahead and put in $0, and then in the notes for buyer, put in no bid. If you try to go down to the bottom and submit without filling this out, it will error out until you have certain line items that have information required. So we're going to go ahead and just do a no bid on the entire first alternate one. So we're just hit no bid. And then we're going to move down to alternate number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this one is $1 per ton. So one thing on this bid, we had 6 line items, but the BidSync system auto defaults to only showing you 5. So down here I'm going to have to go ahead and hit next step in order to see that additional line item. You can also, at the top where it says line items per page, you can change the setting of 5 down to a larger number if you're wanting. But I'm going to leave it on 5. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out this last line item. We're going to say it's $3 per ton. So we'll go ahead and have the system calculate that over for us. And then we do have another attachment link here. The next thing I'll point out is the bid bond import option. If you use a company called Surety 2000, you can actually just import your bid into the BidSync system. So I could go ahead and hit import here, and then I could choose my company as Surety 2000, and then enter the bid bond number they provide to you. You do not have to use this option or even use Surety. You can continue using the company you're already using. You'll just want to scan your bid bond in and upload it as an attachment versus using the import option. The city clerk's office does have information about Surety if you do want to look into that bid bonding system. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and go down to the bottom and hit submit. This will allow me to submit my offer on the BidSync system. So here at the top, I'll want to go ahead and review it, make sure everything's correct in the way I want it. We'll then have the addendums area. You will be required to accept any addendums on the system. So the first one we've already accepted. I accepted on previous offers. So all I need to do is accept addendum number 2. So all I'll do is go ahead and just check that box to accept the addendum. If you miss that, the system will error out and not allow you to place your offer until you have accepted the addendum. So down here under the offer confirmation, my suggestion to you is that you always check this box to send a confirmation email regardless of your notification preferences. This means if you accidentally turn your notifications off for confirmations, you'll still receive it. So you're going to go ahead and type in your password and hit confirm. Remember, by typing in your password, it's just as legal and binding as an original signature. So here we're going to go ahead and hit confirm. And then this will allow our offer to be received. At this point, we'll receive an email letting us know that our offer has been received, as well as our offer is just placed into that lockbox so no one has access to our offer. If you do realize you made a mistake and you need to make any changes, you can go ahead and just either hit return to offer down here at the bottom, or you can go ahead and just hit place offer if you're back on the bid information page, and just go in and change the few things that you need to change, and then go ahead and just submit your offer. Again, you can submit your offer as many times as you need to up until that bid closes, and then whatever your last submitted offer was is what the agency will see. So with this, one thing, we've already got a question on it, is the total bid. Currently, our system does not do a total bid on our system. We are working on developing that. We will have that up and going before the first live bid. It'll just be on that previous page with the confirmation. It'll give you your bid total. So you'll be able to view that and make sure that you got all your numbers correct. But currently in the system, that's not a functionality we have, but it should be up on the system before your first live bid. So at this time, I'll go ahead and open the floor up for any questions. Remember, all participants are muted, so if you have any questions, you will need to go to the questions tab and ask those now. So one of the questions is about regards to mandatory pre-bids. So you'll receive a notice from our system about the mandatory pre-bid. You can come in and RSV to the pre-bid conference. You can go ahead and say, yes, I'm attending. However, the pre-bid conferences will be held just as they usually are. And the only thing you'll see on the system is the address. So you'll be able to just go to that site address on the date that the agency specifies and the time, and then they'll hold the pre-bid conferences as they usually do. So one of the questions is, when will live bids start? So with that question, I guess there's kind of two answers depending on which way you want. The first live bid that will be on the system released by the city for the Public Works Department will be given to you at the end of the training. They'll let you know what that date is. The second part of that question, that it could be your answer as well, is when an agency actually releases the bid and you receive that notice, you can go ahead and start bidding then. The bid is now live onto the system and you can start placing your offer. There's no wait period or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just move over to the next subject that we have, which is managing your account. We will have an open question and answers session at the end, so if you didn't get your question in quite yet, you still have time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top and click on Home. This will then take me back to that home page that we were viewing previously. We're now going to go ahead and click on My Account. This will then take us to the account profile setup. Here you can go ahead and enter and change anything we entered on that previous page during the registration. So under Profile Setup, the first thing we can edit is our regions by clicking on Edit. So in here you can come in and select any states you want. We can also come down to the states we have selected and hit the plus sign and go down to a county level if you're wanting to go a little bit farther down than just a whole state. So you can come in and edit, add different states if you want, anything like that. So maybe if you wanted to come in and add in maybe Louisiana or Arkansas, we could add those in by just putting a check in the box next to that state. After you make any changes, you can go ahead and hit Save, and then that'll close out and put that on your profile as your settings. You'll then have your NIGP classifications. We did select these on that third page of the registration. So here I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit. I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom, and I can go ahead and hit Show Selected NIGP Categories. This will then show all the things that I currently have selected on my profile, so I can review those and make sure they're all correct. I can also go up to the top of the page and do a keyword search, so I could come in here and search for construction, paving, anything I'm wanting. When you do a search for a keyword, so you do construction, it will pull up anything in blue that matches that keyword. So you can go ahead and just check anything that you feel applies to your profile. Again, if you make any changes to this page, you'll want to come down here to the bottom, clear down here, and hit Save, or you can just cancel out if you don't want to save your changes. You'll then have your notifications. You can go ahead and click on Edit here and view the notifications for your bid. So here with these, my suggestion to you is that you have the first 6 set to email. This will allow you to receive emails of the tabulation, a confirmation, as well as when those bids are released. And then the last 2 are your choice. Those that go along with our paid service. So you do have the option to set them to never, email, or fax. So the next, what you're going to do is go ahead and save or cancel out, depending on if you want to save those changes. The next thing you'll have is your agency types. You can go ahead and click on Edit here and change your agency type. And the only one you'll need to have for the city turned on is the municipality, but I do suggest you just have all of them turned on. After that, you'll have your optional profile set up, and these are just additional classifications you can set up in our system. However, the city does not use them. They do use the default NIGP, so you can go ahead and just ignore these ones. Down here at the bottom, you'll have some other settings. You can edit your general information, user's information. You can change the password. You can view your qualifications. And you can also look at those company keyword search terms. Those are the keywords the agency can search by you. I'm not going to go into much detail with those, but you can come in when you have your account all set up and view those. What I am going to do now is move over to the Admin tab up here at the top. So I'm on Tools and then Admin. Or if you click on My Account, it'll also take you to the account profile setup, and you'll just click on Admin. In here, it's going to list all the users you already have on your account. So I do have quite a few users on here. To add a new user to the account with a blank profile, you can go ahead and hit New User. You can go ahead and just type in their first name, last name, all of their information. This is what you would do with your notary. You'd hit New User and fill this out. You'll go ahead and create a username and a password. They will change that password upon the first login. And then you'll have a permissions area where you can decide what kind of permissions you want to give them. You'll want to give the notary the option to respond to bid, and then you can just show them how to fill out that document. A new user, to confirm it, you will need to type in your password and click Save. The second option you have for adding a new user to your account is the copy option. The copy will go ahead and copy over all the profile settings, the notification preferences, regions, agency types, NIGP classifications. So you can use this if you have, your profile perfect and you want everyone to receive the same notice as you are. You can go ahead and hit copy. And then you can go ahead and just set up their information, first name, last name, email address, as well as their username and password and permission. So you can go ahead and do that for every person that is authorized on your account. By authorized, that they're authorized to submit a bid. So you'll just come in here and give them the permissions and add them as a user, and then they're able to log in. With the city's bids for public works, since they do them a little bit differently and they do not post, send you bids based upon NIGB classification, as long as the user is on the account, they will receive those notices. So you don't have to worry about doing anything special with them. You can also come in here if a user leaves your account or you don't want them to have access anymore. You can come in and just hit delete, and then you can delete them off the account. If you need to just suspend their access, maybe you don't want to remove them from the system, but you want to suspend them, maybe like a notary, they already did their job, but you want to suspend them, you can come in here and hit edit. And then you'll want to come down here to the status and change them over to suspend. This will then suspend their user. They can't log in, anything like that, till you reactivate their user. So that's something you can use for your notaries, just suspend them off the account while you're not working on a bid, and then when you are working on a bid, you can go ahead and unsuspend them and then have them log in. So that was all the material that I had to cover today. If you have any questions now, you can go ahead and submit those in the questions area. So it doesn't look like we've had any questions come in just yet. So really quickly, I'm going to turn the time back over to Amy Russell so she can give you a few additional details for the city, some dates and things like that.
Thank you very much, Katie. As Katie said, I'd like to go over the schedule with everyone. First of all, I wanted to make sure that you realize that when you go in and do a test bid, like what we've discussed doing in our system, that you only submit a bid on the test bid I give you. Our procurement group has already gone live in the system, therefore there are live bids on our system. The bid you're going to be interested in is called Test Bid PC-0000/WC-0000. So again, Test Bid PC-0000/WC-0000 is the only bid you should be submitting something on at this time. This test bid will be released on Monday, September 30th, for you to go through all the different parts of it. Please go ahead and submit a bid on that. This will be our only bid in our system, our only test bid in our system for you to do. That test bid will be opened on Thursday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. There is a much shorter turnaround time on this than normally. That is because it is only a test bid. There are not as many line items and such for you to fill out. It's just for you to get a good idea as to what is going on in our system. Our first live bid posting will be October 16th, and November 5th will be the first bid opening for that October 16th bid release. If we do not have any prepared for that time, the October 16th, we will just do the first bid post after that. So anything after October 16th will be within BidSync. Do we have any additional questions at this time? I don't see any additional questions coming in. So if you think of something later, please go ahead and submit those to us via the email that was sent to you or directly to BidSync. I did receive just a question just now on test bid. Do we put bid bond with it to test? You can add an attachment to it. You don't necessarily need an actual bid bond, but you can go ahead and add an attachment the same way you would your normal bid bond. You will get your bid results through the system. Yes, as Katie spoke of earlier, they will be posted directly to the bid. Okay. I'm not seeing any additional questions. Please go ahead and send them to me via email, or you can call BidSync directly with questions, and they'll be able to walk you through things. Thank you very much for attending today. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to going through this process with you.